I mean, I would say that, there are these, what I just talked about, these issues with uncertainty, right? So normally engineers want to see precision. And you've got to actually be open to things where you may not have all the answers. In fact, by definition, investing is a very uncertain exercise, because what you really need to do is you need to extrapolate what the future cash flows of a business are going to be, and then bring them down to the present, and then decide whether that works or not. And in many cases, in many businesses, I would say that there's probably nobody on the planet, including the founders of Google, who could tell you what Google's cash flows are going to be 5 years from now. And so, but for example, if you could put a floor on those cash flows, then that might give you a basis to invest, because you would say, okay, I know what my downside is. And floor on cash flow is a lot easier than actually predicting the cash flows, right? And so if you can, with a high probability, start putting floors on things. So I think the engineering mindset needs to change a bit. And to some extent, actually, Google's done that. If you look at your server farms, you've gone with unreliable hardware, with high failure rates and all of that, and to some extent unpredictable times and places when things can fail, but that's built into the engineering of the solution. And so you're able to accommodate a high degree of uncertainty on, so you don't know which server is going to fail when, but I think statistically you know how many will fail, and then you can kind of design around that. So I think as long as you can kind of deal with uncertainty, with generally, and the second thing is that you're probably best off never touching Excel. Right? So Excel has nothing to do with investing. So that might be, heresy at Stanford Business School or something. But the way to really look at investing is that when you look at, again, a business like Google or Microsoft or Berkshire, you really have to put yourself in the shoes of the people running the business. And you have to ask yourself, how do they run the business? Do they run it through a set of spreadsheets? Or how do they run it? And I would bet that most of these businesses are run in a manner where the founders or CEOs are really looking at kind of 3 to 5 variables that dominate most of their thinking and outcome and direction. And so as an investor, you've got to hone in on those same variables. So if you can get to the same variables, if you're going to invest in Microsoft, you can get to the same variables that Satya Nadella is using, and Google, you get to the same variables that Larry and Sergey are using, then you're getting very close to trying to figure out what the business might do. And from there, you can extrapolate whether it's underpriced or fairly priced and so on. So that's what I would suggest, is avoid the use of spreadsheets and avoid precision thinking.